swear just ahead. Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm Fran Watson. I'm a practitioner here at the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. It's just a joy to be here this morning to celebrate our community, come together in a meditation for the next 20 minutes or so. And then at 10:30 we'll have our full service with Dr. Pat and elevation. So join us for as much as you can. You won't regret it. And just for this moment now, I invite you to join me in a presence practice, an opportunity to really delve into the intelligence of your body. And so to start, just taking some deep cleansing breaths as you sit quietly in your chair, your floor, your bed, your couch. And just allow yourself to sink deeply, feeling the substance of yourself, feeling that sacred weight, that gravity, sinking into the earth and being received by the Great Mother. Feeling yourself relaxing and unwinding into a different space. And as you do this, just gently start to bring your attention to your right thumb. You could hold it up, or it could sit gently in your lap, but put some thought on your thumb, contemplating it. Whether you gaze at it with your eyes or just feel its parameters, its outline. Feeling it, its design, the skin, the nail, the bone, the muscles. Just bending it and feeling its perfection, what it's designed to do, how it knows how to do it. And just start to feel all the little components and how they work together so perfectly and intelligently. Cell by cell, cell beside cell, bone, blood, muscle, all performing its perfect function in cooperation with one another. And inside the cell, the atom, the DNA, deeper and deeper into each cell. This incredible intelligence. And the space between the cells. In between each membrane is a microscopic and infinite space. Dive into that space now. Noticing how deep and wide it is. Breathing into this space. expanding into this space, floating and gazing. Feel your thumb. And then notice how it's different now in its sensation from your other thumb. How is one thumb different from this kind of attention that you've just placed on it? Is there a sense of expansion, light, weightlessness? What is it that is different for you? And then start just to allow that same curiosity, that same spaciousness, that same exploration in every finger of your same hand. Allow your fingers to fill with this wonder, this energy of curiosity and spaciousness, filling yourself, filling your hand. Cell by cell. Diving into the space between the cells. Allowing the hand to fill with your life force and this perfect intelligence that is you. At the very core of your being, the stuff that makes you, you. And as you fill your hand and your other thumb and your other hand, start to allow this spark of life and attention to it. It's always been there, but your attention allows it a great freedom to be expressed through you. So allow it to fill your hands and move up your arms. Cell by cell, muscle by muscle, bone by bone, space upon space. Allow it to fill your torso, your heart space, your belly, your hips, your legs, your feet. Wonder, spaciousness, expansion, curiosity, intelligence, life. Up into your throat, your neck and shoulders, and your head, the top of your head. And just for the next few minutes until you hear my voice again, invite you to dive into the space between the cells, between the organs, between the muscles and sinews of your body. And allow yourself to dance with the infinite intelligence that is there, that is you, acting through you, enlivening you, enjoying you. starting now, I will just share this reading from today's 365 Science of Mind, October 24th. I know that the Spirit, which is life, is present everywhere. Like the air I breathe, it presses against me, on the mountaintop, in the valley, in the desert, and on the ocean. It is ever present. There is peace in the center of my being, a peace that can be felt throughout the day and in the cool of the evening. I dwell on the unity that underlies everything. As I consciously poise myself in the realization that I live in pure spirit, new power is born within me. I find myself renewed by the divine life, led by divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love. I focus my inward vision on this indwelling harmony, knowing that as I contemplate its perfection, I will see it manifest in everything I do. Realizing that the Spirit within me is God, the living Spirit Almighty, I open my thought to its influx. I open my consciousness to its outpouring. Feeling this expansion, this presence, this life within me. I share it with each one of you and bless it as it expresses itself throughout our lives, starting right here and right now. Namaste.
All right. Okay, unmuted. Right. I forgot about that. Thanks. It's on the guitar more than the spot is on the guitar. There it is. More of a spot. There it is. Woo! Yeah, you still you. Go girl. Get it.
You better not walk too tall. Everybody likes it better when you stay small. You run, yeah, you run to the bitter end. You question whether running is your foe or your only friend. You're too young to know. Figure out the future before you grow too old. You work, fly away up the cold brick wall. You break that ceiling, but the glass cuts you as it falls. You're trying to do it all. Who made these rules? Come on, it's me and you. We must be fools to think that we can do everything for everyone. We wage this war that can't be won. Well, let's face the truth. We just can't do it all. They're telling you to behave. When you smile, you are flirting. When you frown, you're much too grave. So you hide, yeah, you lie to yourself instead. What you gonna do when all the lies leave your spirit dead? You're trying to do it all. Who made these rules? Come on, it's me and you. We must be fools to think that we can do everything for everyone. We wage this war that can't be won. Well, let's face the truth. We just can't do it all. Speak up, shut up. Too loud, not loud enough. Burn bright, hide your light. Down to earth and out of sight. Short skirt, collared shirt. Sway the vote, know your worth. Are you in, are you out? Are you in a rush? They're trying to do it all. Do it all.
Yeah, woo! Give it up for Elevation with Sonia. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's so wonderful to know that you're out there. Thank you for being there. If you are new to the center, I will introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. And if you are new to our teaching, if you are new to our center, there's a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition. I never call us a religion. There's such a connotation around that word. We are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. As you can see on the slide that is there in front of you, you can see many of the representations of the different world faith traditions. And we put it up there every week, and I talk about it every week because it's so important to know that we are not an exclusive teaching, that we understand that there is a thread of truth that goes through all faith teachings. There is something that binds us together, and we honor that. We may not practice it, but we honor it, and we honor your right to practice your spiritual path in your right and perfect way. So wherever you are on your path, just know that you are absolutely welcome here, and thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday here with us today. And wasn't it a glorious morning this morning? Yesterday we had lots of rain, which we needed, and today just dawned just that beautiful Alberta blue sky that's like none other. So, welcome, and we're going to start out by singing what we call our Kong song. This is called Gonna Climb This Mountain, and you all know it because we've done it a bunch of different times. So let's sing together, shall we?
Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, don't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, a way that's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. One step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah, I like that. Good job, Elevation. You guys harmonized pretty. So, speaking about climbing a mountain, one step at a time, I have an announcement to make. Can I get a drum roll, please? Drum roll. They listen to me so much. we're going to be opening again. Woohoo! November 7th, we are going to open our doors again. And I know that there were an awful lot of people who loved coming here when we were open for those 10 weeks. Well, we're going to do it again, and we are going to comply again with all of the guidelines that have been set out by the province of Alberta and also the city of Calgary. So those include, we will wear masks. Everyone will wear masks. That is a requirement of the city and of the province, even though we are a place of worship. We're going to practice social distancing, so it's not going to be a big old hug fest, at least not for me. What you do behind closed doors, I guess, is your business. But we're going to keep the social distancing here. We're going to have 1/3 seating capacity, so that's about 50 people. And that seems to be all right. That seems to be about the number of you that want to be showing up. And, so there's no coffee, there's no social hour, fun day. The soul shop isn't going to be open quite yet. Here's the clincher. We are not required to ask for vaccination proof. And so we're not going to. Not a one of us wants to be the police for that. So here is my absolute heartfelt request. If you are not vaccinated and you choose to come to the center, please promise that you will wear a mask as everyone else is. If you are not comfortable being around people who are not vaccinated, then continue to enjoy the love stream from the comfort of your home. I understand these are tricky times. We are doing the best we can. So please follow the rules, do what is best for you, and please don't give us any trouble. Don't hassle us, okay? I beg of you, don't do that. Okay, that's all I've got to say about that. And now for good news. Good news. Here's Lance Rath. We've missed him so much to tell you about the freak flag. Yeah.
All righty. Hi. So, am I on? Hello? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm on. Okay, I'm on. All right. So, myself. That was good. Myself, a couple practitioners, Sabrina and Marjorie, and also Reverend Darlene, are leading up and creating the December 19th service. So we came up with this very fun show your freak flag and bring it and all that sort of thing. I'm just going to let you know my version of what we're looking for. So we miss hearing about our community and the people in it. And so we want to know and hear what joy you've created, how you've maintained hope in your life over this last year plus. What hobbies have you gotten into? What has got your creative juices going? Maybe you've recently started creating a new CD, or you have gotten into birding, or you've been getting out into hikes, or whatever. We would love for you to just simply either just let us know you want to participate, and that can be done possibly here on the stage on the 19th, or you can send in a little video segment. We just want to hear maybe a hardship that you've overcome. We want to know your successes. We want to know what you're creating. We want to know your hopes. We want to know what you've been just doing in your life that's magnificent, because we want to hear it, and we wanted to share with it with our community. So that's what this looks like. Email me, lancerath@calgarycsl.org. We'll fill you in on the details and what it could look like. Thanks.
Thank you, Lance. When I was getting clarity about it myself, I said, for those of you who've taken foundations, is it a little bit like your end of the term final project? And he said, yes, something along those lines. So creativity and sharing of your gift. It's around the holidays, so the sharing of your gift. We're really looking forward to that Sunday. It's going to be quite special. Okay, so our ongoing projects or our ongoing groups that are continuing on, we've got Consciousness Seekers. This is the Monday night group, starts at 7 o'clock on Zoom. This is facilitated by Ron Hahn, one of our practitioners, and it is a deep dive into spirituality and consciousness. If that's something that calls to you, show up one Monday and see if the group is for you. Absolutely. Everybody is welcome to everything that I'm talking about here. Coffee with Dr. Pat is on Wednesdays at noon. We just get together, we do a little check-in, we do a little spiritual practice. It's just a way of staying connected, and it's quite wonderful. Everybody's invited to that. The Thursday meditation starts at 7 o'clock, conducted by one of our ministers or practitioners, just 45 minutes. The meditation's not even quite that long, but just time together. Once again, all of this is to create a sense of community while we are still not coming together completely as a community. And finally, the Saging Circle, which is for people 60 and above. But if you want to join, you can, and learn from your elders. All of this, you can find all of that information, how to get on the Zoom, everything else in the newsletter or on our website. So you can check all that stuff out. Okay, now is the time for our kind of going into a deeper conversation, so to speak. We've talked about the business, we've sung, everything's cool, but now we're going to go in. We're going to go to that heart center. And so I invite you now to just begin to relax. We're going to have Fran give us our spiritual mind treatment, and Sonia will lead us in a chant leading up to that. So ladies, if you would.
God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am.
God is right here, infinite source, infinite wisdom, complete, whole, perfect, expanding, ever expanding, awake, alive, unfolding grace, fulfilling every wish, every dream, every possibility, filled out, flowing out and beyond, and out and beyond, and out and beyond. Whatever I can imagine, it's farther ahead, and I am full as it flows through me, that source of all light, all harmony, all wonder, all peace, all expression. And as I allow this one to flow through me, filling me with this joyous energy, I speak my word for our entire community and anyone who hears these words. I know it is true for me, it is true for all. There is a unity at the heart of all. And in this moment, I commit to my journey. I commit to the steps, the next steps, the guided, inspired action that takes me through numerous joyous adventures, some more challenging, some more delicious. but always adding to a fullness in this universe, always adding to my awakening, to my ever evolving consciousness. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to grow. I'm willing to risk. I'm willing to show up with all this life that is in me. I shall not waste a moment. And I will rest. I will rest too. Because that too is the divine way. There's nothing that can hold me back from showing little by little who I am more and more. I'm willing to have the grand adventure, knowing I am 100% guided in all that I do, that each step is a divine step. Each mistake is never that. It is only another curve, another bend in the road, another byway to explore, all elevating me to a greater sense of perfection that is the divine. I'm so grateful for this teaching, so grateful for this incredible intelligence that flows through all life, me and each one here. So with a heart full of gratitude, I release my word into the law, knowing this adventure is flowing as it should. And so it is.
Love is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. Love is, I am.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Sonia, and that was beautiful. And with our hearts wide open from that spiritual mind treatment and that beautiful chant, I invite you to say with me our vision and mission statements. We do this every week, whether we're in person or whether we are virtual, because it's important for us to make that stand and say who it is that we are as a spiritual community. So let's say that together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. There's so much in that simple statement, a world that works for everyone. I've heard some of my colleagues refer to it as a world that works for all, meaning everything from people to plants to animals to our planet, a world that works for all, for everything and everyone. That is the goal, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And our mission statement here are some of the tools that we used to bring that into fruition. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. One of the key words I love in that is the inclusivity. Whoever you are, wherever you are, however you show up in life, you are part of us and we are part of you because we are one. So thank you for being here. All righty. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this. So Sonia has chosen some really wonderful songs that complement the talk, just absolutely perfect. So please welcome Elevation with Sonia DeLeo.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, I just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong and just keep on pushing on. 'Cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Not about how fast I get there. It ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to love. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's the climb. Yeah. Oh, it's the climb. Yeah. It's the climb.
Woo! All right, that was a wonderful song. Sonia DeLeo with Elevation. Give it up. Fill that screen with hearts and claps and everything else. There it is. There it is. Oh, we are so blessed. Oliver, could you bring me this thing? We are so blessed with our music, our musicians. Yeah, I know. That's why I reminded you. Aren't they one? They're so wonderful. So wonderful. See, there was method to our madness. See the name of the talk? On the way to the top. You'd think we planned it that way. Okay, would you breathe with me, please? Take in a deep breath and let go. And another one in your own time. And one more, please. If you are new to the practice of breathing and breathing together, we do that every week just to kind of get us on the same page. We are inspiring together. So I've been really busy lately. It's like the world is waking up. Anybody else experiencing that? Like things are just starting to like peek out. Oh boy, hey, there's life out there somewhat. And so I was so busy that I completely forgot to tell you guys something that I wanted to share with you, and that is that on October 16th, I celebrated my 23rd year as a minister and spiritual director. 23 years. Some of you aren't even old enough to remember that. I began my first job as a minister in 1998, October 16th, 1998, serving a tiny little spiritual community in Temecula, California. There were 12 people in the congregation. There was $35 in the checking account. We met in a school cafeteria. We held classes in people's homes. We had board meetings in a restaurant on Sunday afternoons, and the office was in my house. So those of you who wonder why I still work at home, it's because I got used to it. You know what? I like working from home. So as I posted, because I did remember it this week, I posted on Facebook earlier, being a minister, being a spiritual director is the most rewarding, the most exciting, and the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever done. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. In fact, somebody said to me, here's to another 23 years. And I was like, ooh, here, that would make me close to 90. So I'm not sure that's going to be the goal. But I think I still have a few years left, okay? So, yay! During those years, let me tell you some of the stuff that has happened. I have had some really great successes, absolutely. And I've made some really awful mistakes. I've been at the height of my career, and I have wanted to give up and hide. I thought I knew it all, and then I realized that I know very little. I've taken risks. I've played it safe. I've loved, and I have been loved by many, many wonderful people. And I've hurt some people. And I've been hurt by some people. And through it all, I have learned so much from both the good times and the successes, and especially the hard times and the mistakes. As the great spiritual teacher Ozzy Osbourne teaches us, it's all part of my journey. I've done a lot of stupid things, but you learn by your mistakes. Right on, Ozzy. Who knew? And I don't know why this is true, because it is true. One of the great mysteries of life is we do usually learn more from the things that go wrong than the things that go right. One of the stories that I just love, it's one of my favorite teaching stories about Thomas Edison. And he was asked what it felt like to fail 1,000 times in inventing the light bulb. And he said, I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. Right? Right? So that brings me to the purpose of my talk, which is called On the Way to the Top. It was inspired by a picture that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. I found it several years ago, and I've held on to it because I knew that eventually someday it would make a really great talk. And here's the ironic part about it. I had already decided that I wanted to use this picture for today before I remembered that it was my 23rd anniversary. You'd almost think that there was like an intelligence, one mind thing going on. So here's the picture. Now, as you can see, there's a man standing on a stage in front of an audience. He's juggling plates. He's in the spotlight. He's doing what he loves. He looks relaxed and confident and all the plates are spinning effortlessly. Looks like he's been doing this all his life. But when you look behind him, the stairs on the way to the top are littered with pieces of broken plates. And if you notice that at the bottom of the stairs, there's lots of broken plates. And as the stairs go up, there's fewer and fewer until the step just before he goes out on the stage, there's just one broken plate. Now, of course, the analogy for this is in order to get to the top, whatever that means to you, you're going to break some plates. You are going to make some mistakes. You are going to blow it. Often. Because like it or not, that is the way of growth, whether it is professional growth or intellectual growth or mental, emotional, spiritual growth. Because as I said, we learn more, usually, not always, but we learn more from what went wrong than for what went right, as painful as it might have been. But here's the deal. Here's why it's weird. Is because we live in this super fast-paced world, right? And we want our successes, and we want our riches, and we want our accolades right away. We certainly don't want to have to work for them. Because we watch TV and we look at movies where people become overnight successes, or they become millionaires in one episode. And we think that's how life really works. And I guess ideally, in an ideal world, that could be true. But it hasn't been my experience. And it hasn't been the experience of anyone else I know. Most people who are overnight successes have been working their craft for years. They have produced sweat, blood, and tears. They have been disappointed hundreds of times. They've made countless mistakes. So no, they aren't really overnight successes. It's just that for whatever reason, the world all of a sudden has noticed them. But I am quite certain that there are broken plates covering the stairs on their way to the top. So you might be wondering what any of this has to do with spirituality. I mean, you don't come here for a rah-rah motivational talk. You can get those anywhere. You come here because you want to learn how to live a more spiritual life, more evolved, more enlightened life. Yeah, me too. That's why I show up every week too. And yet the premise is the same. You may not want to be on a stage. You may not want to be an overnight success, but I am certain if you are here today, I am certain it's because you want to grow, because you want to express, because you want to give of yourself more fully to the world. As our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, the true measure of success is the extent to which we are able to take from life and give back at the same time. In other words, becoming the kind of person who can handle the broken plates and the mistakes and the challenges and still grow, still find the good, still be in a loving place. Because that is part of what develops our consciousness, develops our awareness. So raise your hand. I can't see you, but raise your hand. You guys can. You guys can. If you know someone who has stayed in victim mode their entire lives. It's not my fault. They did it to me. I just can't get a break. I'm so unlucky. Now, those people do not see the challenges of life that happen to everybody because everybody has challenges. It's just true. But they don't see them as an opportunity for growth. They see it as evidence that life is not fair. Whereas someone who is committed to living this full and this awakening life has challenges as well, has broken places as well, and uses it as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to express more fully. Ernest Holmes also said this, had lots of wise things to say today. Suffering, saying that too fast, suffering should teach us a lesson which could cause us to refrain from making more mistakes. It carries a blessing with it when we learn how to garner knowledge from experience. So we could look at it as suffering, and sometimes it is, or we can look at it as, whew, all righty, I guess I'm going to school today. Because what happens is that when we look at it like that, when we learn it to garner our knowledge from experience, what happens is that we're building our spiritual muscles. And we need to have those spiritual muscles in order to live the successful and enlightened life that we all desire. So I'm going to give you an example. I actually never intended to share this story with you until I realized that it was my 23rd anniversary. I had something else in mind. In this story, you don't argue with the muses. When the muses say you need to tell this story, it's like, okay, fine. So this is an example from my early years in ministry. I had graduated from ministerial training in 1997, and I quickly found out that there are many, many things that they do not teach you in ministerial school. It is the ultimate on-the-job training. But I'm me. So in the beginning, I thought I was pretty smart. And I thought that people would just automatically agree with me and agree with everything I said because I had those initials REV in front of my name. And you know what? I did have some good successes in those early days. Absolutely. We grew the center from 12 to well over 100. We moved out of the school cafeteria, thank you God, that smelled like bologna sandwiches. You know what I'm talking about. Every one of us has been a school cafeteria and smelled like bologna sandwiches. So we moved from there into our own rented facility, and I was making a name for myself, and things were really good. And then 9/11 happened. And the world as we knew it was brought to its knees with grief and with shock. And all of us doing this work realized that there was not a minister alive who had ever had to deal with anything like this, let alone a fairly new minister. But in the wisdom of my vast, almost 3 years of experience at that time, I felt like I knew what I needed to do. So I called together, I held a healing circle. And this was just a few days. Let's see, if 9/11 happened on a Tuesday, this was probably the Friday after that. And I intended it as an opportunity for people to come together and to remember the truth. And the truth is that we are surrounded and we are indwelled with love. And I'm sure that's what my opening treatment was about, was that we were gathered together and the recognition that we are surrounded and we are indwelled with love. And then I talked about forgiveness and about how even with as tragic as this event was, we still needed to find a way to let go of our anger and forgive. And it was only about 3 days after that incident. And I had people so angry with me for teaching and suggesting forgiveness that they yelled at me and they stormed out of the room. And then there were other people who were triggered by that, and they were yelling about things, and they stormed out of the room. And I was like, but isn't this what we teach? And ultimately, yes, it is what we teach, but my mistake was not allowing people their process, their grief, their anger, their sorrow. In my inexperience and my naivete, I tried to get them to make that huge leap from fear and anger to forgiveness too soon. It was too soon. Whew. It was a pretty big broken plate in my ministry. It took us months to even start to heal the rift, and some people never came back. They never came back. However, because it was so big and because it was so painful, I learned so much from it. I learned that not everybody believes everything I say. That was a bit of an oucher. But I also learned to honor people's process and to understand their grieving a bit more. I learned that even the best intentions can sometimes go awry. And I learned to meet people where they are and then raise up with them, as opposed to saying, hey, up here, let's do forgiveness. And they're like, are you out of your freaking mind? Meet them here, and then let's go up together. Let's learn about this. Let's work on this together. And most importantly, what I learned is that there's always more to one side of any story, of any situation, of any event. And they were painful lessons. But they have stood me in good stead for all these years, including now. Because unless you have not been paying attention for the past couple of years, we have spent that time in the midst of another hotbed of fear and misunderstanding and anger, and it is exhausting. And even though I have my beliefs and my opinions about how things should be handled, I understand that there are people who disagree with me vehemently. And so I have really worked to remain open-minded and to listen what people have to say and to listen to what they believe on all sides of the issues, because there are people who are just as passionate on every side of this issue. And I've worked really hard, not always successfully, but I've worked really, really hard to not make people wrong because their beliefs are different than mine, because they have a right to believe as they do, to believe as they do. And here's some more irony for you. My not taking a strong stand has upset people, and they've left. And my taking too strong a stand has upset people, and they have left. Again, more broken plates and lessons and learning. But I keep coming back to a writing from Ernest Holmes. And, y'all, I know Ernest Holmes is kind of antiquated language, but it's so good. It's so good. Just listen to what he has to say. Developing confidence in ourselves, in our ability to meet and handle all undesirable situations, requires that we must have confidence in that something which is greater than we are. Then we will have spiritual self-reliance. And here's the promise. Once we remember that we are relying and having confidence in something that is greater than us, weakness will give way to strength. Despair will turn to hope. Hate will become love. Failure will become success. And sickness will dissolve into health. the outcome will be one that moves in harmony, love, beauty, warmth, and order, quietly transforming all that is unlike it. Weakness will give way to strength, despair will give way to hope, and the outcome will be one that moves in harmony, love, beauty, warmth, and order, transforming quietly, all that is unlike it. That is my intention as I continue to make my way to the top. And I hope that you'll join me. I love you. I miss you. Hope to see some of you soon. And so it is. Thank you. And you know what? This next song, Now You Know. Now You Know. This is an oldie and goodie, and it's just perfect for this talk. So please, again, welcome Sonia DeLeo and Elevation.
So I face that final curtain. My friend, I'll make it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway. Much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way.
Thank you, Elevation. Sonia doing it her way. Give it up for Elevation. I feel good. Thank you, darling. Okay, so now is the time when I get to tell you, our Facebook land audience, how you can support the center. You know, it takes support to do what we do. I hope you know that. So thank you, those of you who do that on a regular basis. We're so grateful. There is a way to do that super easily. You can become part of our Conscious Commitment program. You can just call the office and talk to Kat, and we'll take it out of your debit or your credit card once a month. That way, if you're traveling or anything like that, or you forget to do it, then you are supporting the center, and that's super important to us. It's kind of what we budget on. If you like to give every week, you can do it through an e-transfer. If you are in Canada, send it to office@calgarycsl.org. Or you can go to our website and use PayPal. That's a way to do it. Just make sure you indicate that it's coming to us in Canadian funds. It'll come out of your account in U.S. funds, but we will receive it in Canadian funds. It's just an accounting thing. You can send a check. Oh, heck yeah, send a check, baby. We like those. And I guess that's all. Oh, you can just call and talk to Kat and give her, and she can just do a point of sale thing with your credit card or your debit card. So lots of ways to support. We are going to say our conscious giving affirmation, because you know what? Anything that we do that kind of affirms what we want to have happen in our life is things that we should be doing on a regular basis. So let's say this together and say it with enthusiasm, not by rote. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. Now say this one like you mean it. I am so blessed. And so it is. And so it is. And we're going to sing, let's start with life today. Okay. And then we'll move to love, you know.
Yay.
I think drums. I think drums for everything.
I thank drums for everything. I thank drums for everything. I thank drums for everything. I thank drums for everything. I thank life 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 for everything.
Now love.
I thank love for everything. I thank love for everything. I thank love for everything. I thank love for everything.
Okay, here's how we close. So start rubbing your hands together. You know, I learned this from the teens, and I just love it. And so we're keeping it going. We're keeping it going, baby. So here we go. We're going to get all that good energy in there. Going to put some love in there, some energy, some abundance, some health, some joy, all that other stuff. And we're going to send it out to anybody who needs it, okay? If you have somebody in your mind, send it to them. If you just want to send it out to the world, send it out into the world. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Nice. Love you. Have a great weekend.
La 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 la. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Who cares what they see? Who cares what they know? Your first name is free, last name is dumb. We choose to believe in where we're from. Best red cloud, it's in every living thing. Mind, use your power. Spirit, use your wings. Freedom, freedom, freedom. freedom. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Cheetahs need to eat, run antelope. Your first name is King, last name is Dog, 'cause you still believe in everyone. When a baby first breathes, when I see sunrise, when a whale hunts the sea, when man recognize freedom, 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 freedom. We are from heat, the electric one. Does it shock you to see he left us the sun? Atoms in the air, organisms in the sea. The sun and yes man are made of the same things. Freedom, 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 freedom.